For years, I thought my cabin by the lake was safe until the HOA, led by the ruthless Mr. Henderson, tried to evict me without cause. Henderson thrived on control, crushing anyone who got in his way, never caring about fairness or the truth. But when I uncovered that I actually owned the entire lake and their only parking lot, everything changed. Just wait until you hear how this battle ended and why justice finally had the last word. I always thought my cabin by the lake was my little sanctuary, a place where I could escape the noise of the world and just breathe. For 10 years it stood quietly among the trees, untouched by drama or dispute. Every morning I'd wake up to the gentle ripple of water and the songs of birds. It was peaceful, simple, mine. Then, out of nowhere, everything changed. One afternoon, a man I'd never met before showed up at my doorstep. Mr. Henderson, the HOA representative. His expression was cold, his voice firm. Without any warning, he told me I had to leave. According to him, my cabin didn't comply with some obscure community rules. That was it. No discussion, no compromise, just an order to vacate, as if 10 years of living here didn't mean anything. I stood there, stunned. My heart raced. My mind scrambled to make sense of what I was hearing. How could this be happening? How could the place I called home be taken away on a whim? It felt like the ground had shifted beneath me. The cabin that had been my refuge was suddenly under threat, and I was powerless to stop it. The shock hit me hard, a mix of disbelief and fear that I wasn't sure I was ready to face. Henderson wasn't just some bureaucrat following rules. He seemed to genuinely enjoy the power his position gave him. From the moment he arrived, it was clear he saw the residents not as neighbors or people with lives, but as obstacles to be controlled. His words were sharp, his tone dismissive. When I tried to explain my side, to reason with him, he barely glanced my way. It was like talking to a wall that was already decided to push me out. He kept insisting he had every legal document to back his demand, wielding paperwork like a weapon. But it wasn't just about the rules. It was the way he carried himself, the way he spoke as if I was nothing more than a problem to be solved or a nuisance to be swept away. There was no room for discussion, no hint of empathy or understanding. To Henderson, I was invisible, just someone he could intimidate and push around without consequence. That attitude, cold, arrogant, and absolute, stoked a fire in me. It wasn't just about the cabin anymore. It was about standing up to someone who thought they could steamroll over others just because they held a title. Frustrated but determined, I started digging through the paperwork Henderson had cited so confidently. Every page I turned only made me more skeptical, so I decided to look deeper, way deeper than he probably expected. What I uncovered left me breathless. It wasn't just my cabin that I owned outright. Hidden in the fine print of decades-old deeds and property records was a fact Henderson had either overlooked or deliberately ignored. I owned the entire lake, every inch of it. Along with the HOA's only parking lot, the realization hit me like a punch. The HOA had no legal claim to the land they were trying to force me off. Not a single shred of authority. All their threats, all Henderson's bluster. It was built on a foundation of sand. My anger surged. This wasn't just a fight to keep a cabin anymore. It was a battle to protect what was rightfully mine, to stand up to a system that had tried to steamroll me without cause. Without hesitation, I picked up the phone and called my lawyer. I was done sitting quietly while someone else dictated my future, fueled by a mix of shock, anger, and fierce determination. I was ready to fight back, and this time on my own terms. Weeks later, Henderson returned, but this time something was different. The confident, unshakable man I'd faced before was replaced by someone uncertain, hesitant, and noticeably less sure of himself. I met him calmly, holding the legal documents that spelled out the truth in black and white. The HOA had no case against me. I laid out every piece of evidence clearly and confidently. The deeds, the property records, the official rulings, they all proved one thing: the lake and the sole parking lot belonged to me. And Henderson's claims were baseless. For the first time, Henderson couldn't argue or dismiss me. The fight was over. Not only was I staying in my cabin, but I had full control over the lake and the parking lot, something I never expected when I first settled here. There was a deep sense of satisfaction that settled over me. Justice wasn't just served, it was undeniable. The peace and security I had long sought were finally mine, and this time, nothing or no one could take them away.